The clock on the wall ticked louder than usual. Its rhythm was steady, but each tick felt like a hammer striking my chest. The faint smell of jasmine from the vase near the window hung in the air. My wife sat across the table, her hands folded neatly in her lap. Her eyes were distant, like she was staring at something far beyond me. Her voice was calm when she spoke. "I have no desire for intimacy," she said. The words were clear, sharp, and cold. They floated across the room and then sank deep inside me. For a moment, the world stood still. The hum of the refrigerator faded. The chirping of the crickets outside went silent in my mind. All I could hear was the echo of her words bouncing between my ribs. I tried to breathe, but the air felt thick, almost solid. Her tone was not angry, not even sad. It was simply final. I looked at her for a long time, waiting for her to look back. She did not. Her gaze stayed fixed on the small crack in the wall behind me. Something inside me twisted. My chair scraped against the tile as I stood up. The sound startled her slightly, but she said nothing. I grabbed my jacket from the back of the chair. My fingers trembled as I tried to slip it on. I did not want to yell. I did not want to beg. I just wanted to leave that heavy silence behind. The hallway light flickered as I stepped out of the room. Her friend, Clara, was standing near the doorway. She had been visiting that evening, sitting quietly in the corner, watching everything. She rose to her feet when she saw me walk past. Her eyes were wide, uncertain. "Hey, wait," she said softly. Her voice trembled. She stopped. The hallway seemed to stretch endlessly between us. I turned slightly, enough to see her face, half lit by the dim light. Her expression was a mix of guilt and fear. Something in her eyes made my stomach tighten. "What?" I asked, my voice lower than I expected. She hesitated, her lips parting, but no sound came out. Behind her, my wife appeared at the end of the hall. She leaned against the door frame, arms crossed, still silent. The two of them looked at each other, and in that glance, I saw something. A flicker, a spark of understanding that did not include me. My pulse began to pound in my ears. The air between us shifted, heavy with a secret I had not yet heard. "Clara," my wife said slowly, her tone warning, almost pleading. But Clara's face was pale, her fingers clenched around the strap of her purse. "I cannot do this anymore," she whispered. My wife's eyes darkened. My mouth went dry. "What?" I asked. The question fell into the space like a stone into water. No one answered. Outside, thunder rolled low across the sky. The wind pressed against the windows, making them tremble. Clara looked at me, her eyes filling with tears. Her lips moved again, barely audible. "I am sorry," she said. Her voice cracked. My wife turned away, her shoulders stiff. I felt the floor sway beneath me. It was as if the walls themselves were leaning in, listening. The truth lingered in the silence, just out of reach. And then Clara spoke again, her words breaking the fragile air. She failed, but the unfinished sentence was enough. Every breath in the room vanished. My wife closed her eyes. The sound of the rain began to tap gently against the glass. The house that had once felt so familiar now felt like a stranger's skin. I stared at both of them, feeling the last thread of something snap quietly inside. No one moved. No one dared. Then, slowly, I stepped back. The doorknob felt cold under my palm. Clara whispered something, maybe my name, maybe a plea, but I no longer wanted to hear. The storm outside was louder now. Lightning flashed, painting their faces white for a single heartbeat. I opened the door and stepped into the night air. It was cold, clean, and painfully real. The smell of wet earth filled my lungs. Behind me, the door clicked shut. Their voices faded into the sound of rain. I walked down the path, each step heavier than the last. The wind pushed at my back, urging me forward, away from that house of shadows. And though the storm raged, I felt strangely calm, because sometimes the loudest silence is the one that tells you the truth, and I had finally heard it. I did not look back. Not once. The rain washed the last warmth from my skin, leaving only clarity. The night swallowed me whole, and somewhere behind me a door opened again. A voice called my name, soft, uncertain, almost desperate. But I kept walking. The thunder rolled once more, deep and final. The world ahead was dark, but it was mine again, and this time I did not stop.